Hello, voices. What's up, stream? Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? We are back for session 4 of Echoes of the Mind. We have a Jane in chat. How did I know Jane was going to be the first one here other than the people that were in the stream here with me? Hello, sweet Jane. Yeah. Why don't we do some quick shout out to everybody? It's been my hate motivates you. Of course it does. Did anybody watch the roast that Jane put on the other day?
I haven't watched the VOD yet.
No, it was pretty funny. I felt very undercooked. We're gonna have to have another one, and people are gonna have to be much meaner to me.
I felt undercooked. That's like the best one-liner ever.
Oh, that was my name on the Discord for the whole next day. Fair at the undercooked.
Ah, that's why.
Yeah, that's why. Because they didn't roast me, but they did a great job nonetheless. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, why don't we just go from top down to bottom, starting with you there. Emma, you can give yourself some shout outs and stuff, and then we will do a little recap and get to it.
Hello, welcome. I'm Emma, and I will be playing Flora. I don't stream yet, but I think I might have something very fun planned for my first stream, and like if I survive the next month. So it's little tease. So yeah.
Nice, excellent. The lovely Freya.
Hello, peoples. I'm Freya Malik. I don't know if I'm gonna be streaming soon. Anyways, so I like to do character voices most of the time. So yeah.
Excellent. I love to roleplay with Freya. Next, we got
she's super good at voices. That's
right.
what drew me in immediately. I'm a little Joy Loaf. You can call me Joy or Loaf or Lil. It's your preference. But I'll be playing Marcella today. And you can find me over on Twitch. We just have a lot of fun and goof around.
Mm-hmm. All the fun. Everybody's welcome. Next, we have the Lily Pad.
That's me. I am the Lily. I am going to be playing Phoebe today. I don't stream.
I'll follow anyway.
I just like to lurk in all of these people's streams, except for this last week because I've been living through the snowpocalypse of Texas, and so I haven't been on the internet or the world. Like I've just been in a little hole. But now that things are starting to get normal again, fingers crossed, I'll be lurking in all these people's streams again. So I'm really, really excited that we're back.
I totally confused Lily when she came to chat earlier. I asked her, I said, so what's this like living in Canada? And she was like, I don't live in Canada. I was like, I know, but just the snow.
Oh God, you didn't.
Oh, of course I did. Come on, you know me. And who's the beautiful, beautiful gentleman in the corner there? Because it's not me. That's why I'm hidden.
Right. DM of Darkness. I'm Sonic, and I usually stream whatever random nonsense I'm playing, and I yell at my TV a lot. And it's good times. It's basically my entire channel.
If you want to watch somebody
playing Kaplan today.
If you want to have a lot of fun, go into his stream about 4 or 5 hours in, once he's had a couple drinks, and ask him about smart drinking.
Oh yeah.
We know all
that
about
is true.
Right. What's up, Dal? How you doing? Okay, and I'm Farid. If you're here watching this, you probably know who I am. And if not, you'll know who I am by the end of this. So keep watching. Meh is how you're doing. Choices, my friend. Life is always choices. So let's do a little recap for these players here, because it's been a couple weeks since anything has gone on. So last time we were here,
Okay.
No, your cat. Last time we were here, everybody was back at the military base, and Chaplin had just walked into a darkness. He was surrounded by dark figures just walking in and amongst them, thousands of them, just brushing past his body. Found his way out by going through, finding the walls, finding the seam. Toad ran up, got stabbed by the secretary, killed the secretary, and then found a way to get him out of the darkness. They then proceeded down to the med bay and found the captain's, or the general's son, in surgery, and his body just burning. There was this big giant like lava worm that was pulled out of his body. Toad was stabbed in her other shoulder, crushed another head. They left the worm like melting down into the ground, grabbed some liquid nitrogen, and ran out of the med bay. That's the gist of what happened there for them. The other three, they were waiting, waiting for things to go down, waiting to be told what to do next, kind of thing. Decided to try and leave at some point. They went to go out of the base, and Floor walked into a darkness. She walked into the tower from her tarot cards. Saw a mirror image of herself at the top of it, and followed it up there, proceeding to jump over the edge. I don't even know if we know what it means. I don't even know if I know what it means. It just happened. But she fell on top of the other two who had, been trying to figure out where she had gone, where she had left. Appeared back into the realm of reality, pulled out her tarot cards, and they were all the Tower card. Before that, the lab.
That is no.
There was
Sorry.
the lab. The lab before that with the professor and all of the lab animals and the rats and everything turning to these crazy kind of Lunar hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate, Lunar. What's up, buddy? All the animals that went crazy and started biting things, having to kill himself. They locked themselves into an enclosed area in the med bay, and the last thing they saw in there was one of the rats crawling out from underneath the back end of the barrier that had closed down. That was before the whole thing. That's why they chose to leave. They were running away from that. Backpedal by the DM. They then ran back inside, and that's kind of where everybody's converging. The five of you are all converging, running back into the the waiting area, the reception of the military base. And yeah. So chat.
We were running to the hospital, weren't we?
Yeah, you were running towards the med bay part, which is where they were coming from. So you're kind of going to meet in that cross going towards there. Chat, I'm going to say now, thank you everybody for being here. I'm going to say right now, anybody that subs or follows or anything like that, I really, really appreciate you all. This game, I do try to keep myself focused on the game, so I will not be responding to you much. Ukes, before I go, I have to send you out a Ukes, because you're the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you. You're the reason we have a Ukes emote. Rude. Jane, you're rude. And I love you for it. But yeah, okay, so that is where we're going to pick up. The five of you are, converging together. The three girls, you're running towards the med bay as they're coming out of it, carrying this vat of liquid nitrogen. And go.
I would just kind of be coming up to them and, what are you guys doing? What's going on?
You're muted,
My-
Freya.
You're muted.
You don't want to go back that way.
We wanted to get supplies.
There is nothing for you there. Trust me.
What happened?
What didn't happen? We need to get moving. This is going shit down. Like,
But if the space where all of the officers aren't secure, then where could we go that would be safe? This is supposed to be the safe place. That's why we left the restaurant in the first place.
that is
Well-
like. Go, Sarge.
I'm just gonna say that this base is a lot more defensible than that restaurant was.
No.
wow.
What I was saying is because they're coming to intercept us. So they were going to the place we were coming from. So that's what. I meant.
They were trying to go into the med bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that we leave the base, but we don't
Right,
go.
but for us three, we had just been talking about leaving because
Oh,
we experienced
okay.
all the animals and
Okay.
then Flora fell, and so we are like,
Yeah,
Nowhere is
they
safe.
don't know.
Okay.
They don't know what happened in there. Right?
Yeah. So you cannot go into the mech bay. You cannot go in there. You can't.
Is there
That is
anywhere else we can get supplies?
Supplies do we need?
Hey, but hey, chica, by the way, you have something really nasty on your neck, yeesh.
Wait, who?
You
Wait, I don't remember.
you got
That's
scratched.
Back.
Oh,
My
right.
flow, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
when
by
she was,
the-
all terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What? What do you mean? And I'm feeling for it, but I can't see anything. But I'm awkwardly trying to look.
Give me a roll of your die here. Let's see how festering this wound has become.
Oh boy. Let me check. Oh, gotta find chat. $66.
86. So you beat me. So the wound is it's starting to scar over a little bit. It's definitely raised out. You can't see it, but it's got that, with that red kind of it's affected around it kind of thing. It definitely looks like it's but it's started to scab over a touch.
Okay.
We need to take care of that.
Phoebe
ASAP.
cuts in and she's like, "Listen, I'm pretty sure that Flora just fell off from the top of the roof. I don't know any more than that, but she is acting really weird and talking really weird, and she needs help. So if we can't go to the med bay, then where do we go? How do
But the
But
floor.
I fell out of the tower guard.
Sorry.
That's okay.
We good?
Yeah.
What do you mean she fell off the roof? She's walking fine. She looks fine.
No, I fell out of the tower guard. You don't understand. And I will show him the deck of cards.
Yeah,
what I mean?
there's some
Oh.
freaky shit going on, you guys.
Then I say,
Fell out of the card.
oh, yeah.
I stepped into a dark place, and then there was the tower, and I fell. Well, I jumped.
I think Steve would physically recoil at the thought of the dark place. As I think she and I are the only ones who've been in it so far.
And Phoebe
I'm-
didn't even see. So she legitimately thinks that Flora is deeply concussed or something because she just sounds like she's talking nonsense. And
Okay.
so she's
So I'm just gonna take her, put my kind of like my arm around her, like trying to comfort her, and then say like, look, we need to move. We cannot stay here. This is probably gonna be dangerous. You know, we need to move to the other building, okay? So can you describe us, because I think you told me last time when I was taking a look outside of the building, when I was taking a look into the general's office. So I think we could probably go to that building
Sure.
in front of us.
Yeah.
What was that? I don't remember.
So there's like a big garage, you know what I mean, where they house a bunch of the like the Humvees, and there's like 2 or 3 tanks that are actually in there and things like that, a couple of helicopters. So there's a big like hangar type garage that you could run to that's across the parking lot there in front of reception that you would leave out of. And then there was the way that the building was there, it's almost like, you know how some of those schools, like old schools, they have those like archways between the smaller and then the big school, or like the 2 different buildings. There's kind of like something like that where you could go between an archway to get to a second building. That part you would have to go and get past the med bay, or like the professor's lab, where the barriers had come down. But you don't know those barriers are down yet. Because that happened in their instance.
So I'm gonna look at Sarge. Sarge, should we go to the building that in front of us? Because we cannot go back there.
Honestly, at this point, I think we should either go to the barracks and get our stuff, or hit an armory and arm up. Those would be the 2. If we need medical supplies, our rucksacks would have med kits.
Yeah, we took some things from the medical bay anyway. Okay, let go to the barrack. Copy that. Let go.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take Flora on my arm, just trying to guide her, like with my body, because I'm really pretty big, so just like guiding her.
Sure. And
point the way.
No problem. And yeah, you start heading towards the barracks. Happening around you, you see that there is lots of people, lots of the grunts kind of starting to run towards medbay, past you. With what was going on, there's a lot of people, you know, some people are even trying to stop and ask you, you know, like what happened there, things like that. You don't have to say too much. I'm assuming you're just going to say that they need to get there, and, you know, shit went down, shit was real. Probably tell them to get some kind of fire extinguisher or something like that. I would be in my assumption. If there's anything you want to add to anything you would say to them, please feel free.
I used a fire extinguisher last time and it did not work.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably tell them that they need to avoid the area for now.
Yeah.
We'd probably need to put the whole building in quarantine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we need to evacuate it.
Sure. So that's what you say to them as they're going past you. You also see that there's a lot. There's also a lot more people. Sorry, just give me one sec. There's a lot more people that are running towards the lab area where the 3 girls were before. This place is definitely starting to get a lot more hectic than it was. You're not seeing very many officers. You're only seeing grunts running around in and amongst all of this. Just, you know, the ground. You know, there's none of the intelligence around right now. And you get to your barracks, and it seems like it's in, you know, not the same kind of shape that it was left in. Most of the times you go in there and, you know, the corners are folded on the beds. You know, everything's, you know, the beds are made right. Everything's in its place. There's not clothes thrown about, nothing like that. The beds seem like they're, you know, kind of been toppled over a little bit. In Freya, not Freya, Toad, for you, when you were here not that long ago, it looked, you know, you came here looking for Chaplin. You didn't find him here when she told you that he went there. It didn't look like this. And now it looks like it's kind of disheveled and been torn apart.
But all the beds like at the same time,
All-
all the shovels?
Yeah, everything. All of the beds, like some of the mattresses have been flipped over and not even on the beds anymore. It looks like this place has been pulled apart.
Phoebe's gonna like run up to the soldiers. I think when you two decided like we need to go to the barracks like and started leading Flora away, Phoebe kind of like begrudgingly followed. Like she doesn't think that like a first aid kit is really gonna cut it. Like she thinks that she needs to like see it. Like Flora needs to see a doctor because she's like, what is a Band-Aid or a Tylenol gonna do right now, sort of thing. But also, y'all are officers, and she's like, okay, like I'm gonna follow you guys. And so she's been kind of like in the back, but when she sees this, she's gonna kind of rush up to them and she's like, oh, also, there might be some like rabid animals loose in the building. Your scientist guy was like experimenting on some animals with this like with the black snow that we got, and they all went like super crazy and started trying to eat people. And so I don't know how important that is in this moment.
We need to find the mouse. We went to find the mouse and then the dark place happened.
And as you say that, I'm gonna go like put my hand like towards your head, but I'm gonna like try to like go over like a physical, kind of a small physical from your head from behind, just to see if you have indeed injuries, if I can sense some kind of concussion or whatever that it might be, or if I am completely sure, which I think I am already, that is not something physical.
Mm-hmm.
Meg is here. I'm gonna palpate your head. It is a running joke, whatever.
Do you just let this happen?
She lets it happen, but she looks like she wants to be taken serious because she isn't crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she probably will be a bit annoyed, but let it happen.
Do you think she does what you told me she was going to start doing at that point? Do you like to help her decide in it all?
Wait, how do you mean?
Remember that quirk you sent me?
Oh, yeah. I think she will try to draw a card.
Okay. So you draw a card, and it is the tower card. They're all the tower cards still. That is still real. And as you do pull it, there is that, I think you remember you saying that you could see that image of yourself. That image of yourself is holding another card, and it's holding the Hermit. Okay.
Do I see the same card?
You see the same card that she pulls, yeah.
Yeah, I will actually show it to you. Like, look at this, and look at my deck, and I will show her the whole deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not crazy. It's all the tower cards.
Phoebe's frustrated.
Since I've been in the dark place, they all changed.
So she. Go ahead.
You know, I really understand what you're saying, but at the moment, we have some more pressing issue to take care of, you know. So I'm seeing what you're saying, but we need to go and get our gear because we need to move, okay? But I see you, okay? So I'm just gonna look into your eyes like very seriously, so that you know, I know my abuela explained to me a little bit about that. So I understand what you're saying, but we need to move. We cannot stay here.
I'm okay with moving, but I'm not crazy. Like, something happened.
I know you're not crazy. There's a lot of things happening at the same time. We just came up from. We don't need to talk about it right now. Come on, we need to take our gear. Come on, let's go.
And you go to your bunks. Even though they're turned over and things are look like they are pulled apart and stuff like that. Your gear still is there. It's just more thrown apart. So you're able to pick up your stuff and get whatever you were looking for from your barracks. Whoever did this was probably looking for something, but whatever they were looking for, it wasn't your stuff.
Oh, cool! I got my M4. Okay, nice.
Yeah, like your weapons are there and things like that. Like this place is torn apart, but if you were to look, you don't know what's taken. But it wasn't your gear. It wasn't just your just general things.
Yeah, I opened the bag and it is the M4, and I'm like, I kind of like breathe, and so we probably left all the equipment there, and it wasn't.
Mhm.
We have to pull everything together, right? That would be the case.
I would assume that you. Well, I don't know. Do you leave your guns put together, or do you take them
Were you-
apart?
Yeah, what were you carrying it in? Did you have it disassembled, or did you have it together? That's the real question for you. Like, my rifle would probably be disassembled and in a bag.
Mine too.
Yeah. But
Like just a carrying case, and then we'd have a backpack separate. 'Cause
yeah,
it wouldn't be like in your backpack.
'Cause
it
this-
would be in like
Yeah,
an actual
that
case.
was the idea that I had. Yeah.
yeah, that's a sniper rifle, but your gun is probably assembled, I would assume.
Okay.
I would think so, but
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't cleaning day. You know what I mean? Your gun can be assembled. So the sniper rifles is apart, and your gun's assembled. We'll go with that. One for
Okay,
one.
I breathe and I put it over my shoulder, and then like,
Okay.
okay.
Marcella, what's Marcella been doing through this conversation?
She's kind of just been looking around the room looking for like a spare like rucksack or what have you that she can just shove some stuff into. And I was actually wondering, I don't know what kind of check it would be called, but I think Marcella would look for something around the room that might be useful that she can just like shove into. Like a pack. Maybe that's
So,
something
yeah, so
other
you just-
people would miss.
There's definitely backpacks and things like that around. As you're looking at them, they all have a name on them as they're associated to, one of the people that bunks in these barracks. There's not much extra. You could definitely take something from there. You can try to roll to see if you want to do it sneakily. Though, I mean, somebody's going to see you carrying on your back. Or you could just ask them, if they care if you take it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of up to you. But there's definitely backpacks around.
Got you. Guys, would it be okay if I shoved some shit into this? And I'm like holding up like a random like backpack.
I look at the Sarge like,
I would empty out plagues.
Empty out what? What are those?
plagues.
Plagues. Yeah, I think he went frozen.
Oh no.
Oh.
Okay, then I'm gonna take his.
No,
I'm
he's back.
emptying out whatever he said.
Yeah,
I think
plague.
it's
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Plague was Private Kelly Asik.
Got you.
Private
Got
plague.
you. Okay,
Sorry.
got you. Plague.
Yes. So
Okay.
I would empty out Plague's backpack because I'm not giving her like the military gear in it, but
Mhm.
she can use her backpack because
Yeah.
Plague's obviously using it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I would just put all Plague's stuff in her. I'm assuming she has like a box at the end of her bed, like everybody
Yeah.
generally would.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just.
So I just
that's
dump all of
what
her
I'm
stuff in
doing.
there, hand her her backpack.
Okay.
As I guess the ranking officer and like the most experienced probably of everybody here, I would definitely pull out a med kit and I would give it to Toad
Mhm.
and have her look at Marcella's neck and like sit everybody down because obviously everybody like is riled up, tensions are high, like yeah, so I would have Toad do that, and then I want to hear more about the darkness. So I would just ask Flora about what happened to her and what she's talking about with the mouse.
Copy that, Sarge.
So-
And I'm gonna go over to you like,
Just-
okay, Time to take care of that.
So while that's happening, what's Phoebe doing? I know you were trying to say something there before. So what's Phoebe doing in amongst this conversation?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think we moved forward a little bit, and so it wouldn't necessarily be. It wouldn't fit necessarily, but yeah, she's really frustrated. She doesn't. I mean, like, she doesn't understand what's going on, and she feels like she's just being shuffled forward, and like nothing's being dealt with, and like, okay, now we're going to this thing, and like that's what's been happening since she came to work this morning, is like just finding the next thing to do, and like, okay, now we're going to the like, we're leaving the restaurant, we're going to this area, and now we're doing this, and we're leaving Flo's body behind, and so she's just tired of like keeping going forward and doing like the next thing, and nothing really being talked about. Especially now that like both Flora and Marcella are potentially injured, and so I guess if she sees Marcella just randomly putting stuff in a bag, like, she's okay, I guess that's what we're doing right now, and so she would be kind of following suit, but she's very agitated at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So you gather go ahead.
Sorry, I am definitely like having a swig also while while Marina's checking me out.
It would be the case.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. I'm like, hold on, Jesus Christ, that fucking hurts.
Excellent. Oh,
It wouldn't hurt too much if you stay still, like you're moving too much.
Fuck.
Yeah, I would sit these two down, Flora and Phoebe, and have them sit on bunks, and while they're like sitting there and we're talking and everything, I'm going to put together my rifle, pull it out of the case, and just start putting it together idly.
sure.
It'd be like muscle memory.
Okay.
So tell me what happened with the darkness, and what is this about the mouse? Rat? What happened? I need to know everything.
So your professor guy went crazy with the experiment, and some mouse escaped. So I wanted to catch it, and I walked through the door, and suddenly there was only darkness and like this putrid smell. And just there was the tower. Like, I wasn't even on this plane of existence anymore. It was so weird.
You say tower, you're referring to the picture you showed us on your card?
Yeah, and I will show him again.
What does that mean?
Well, it means chaos. Basically, this card is the chaos card.
Okay.
Hey, Sarge.
What's...
Did you see something like that? Did you see something like that? Like a tower or something? When you were in there?
No. My darkness was very different. But before we get to that, what's so important about this rat? Why? What experiment did he run?
He just started
was he
injecting all of these animals. Well, he injected a rat with that like black snow that was outside, and it like went rabid and started biting all these other animals, and then all of the animals started going crazy. And so we tried like locking the door, but then the animals were escaping, and so a bunch of the officers were like shooting at them. It was like a whole ordeal, and so it just was giving me real like end of world times kind of vibes. And so when Flora said that she saw one of the animals escape, we were gonna go try and like contain it so that it didn't get loose and like start biting other people. But then like she says that she went into this room. I didn't even see that. We were just going to like outside, and she opened the door and went out there, and then when I opened the door to follow her, she was just gone. Like, there was no blackness, there was no darkness, like she was just gone. And then I went to go find Marcella to try and get help, and we were outside looking for her, and then she just fell on us from the sky, which makes me think that she was on the roof. And she keeps talking about this darkness and like coming from a card and a bunch of stuff, and I think that I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I think that she might have gotten confused or gone somewhere different.
think she got confused. So what we saw before we ran into you in the med bay was young Jesse was burning alive. I mean, was absolutely covered in burns. Doctors opened him up, and they pulled out. I don't even know what it was. It was a glowing red worm. I mean, it was massive, and it burned them, and then it burned through the floor. And I tried to use a fire extinguisher to no effect, which is why we now have this liquid nitrogen. It's the only plan I can come up with at this point. I don't know what to do about that. But it seems like we have multiple things on our hands here. We definitely, if these animals are causing some sort of outbreak, thanks Doc, we really need to watch our backs, is what we need to do. There's something going on here. I have no explanation for it. The only connection I have right now is that we both went through doors. So if she went into the darkness when she went through the door, the same thing happened to me. I went into the general's office and I was sucked into a darkness, and it was a very different experience. I was restrained. I was pulled across the room. There was all sorts of entities brushing past me and grabbing me, and I barely got out of there with the corporal's help. So, without any other information, one, Flora, you are not crazy. There's definitely something going on here, and there's very little explanation for it. There's no logic to what is going on. So, I think our best plan right now is to stay together and formulate some sort of plan. I don't even know what that plan is, but we're better off together currently.
Marcella's gonna like kind of haphazardly interject and be like, we really pissed some god off. We really pissed something off.
It looks
All
like
of them.
Phoebe wanted to interject as well there.
Yeah, when the sergeant is explaining not only that he also has had this experience with the darkness, but is kind of saying things like there's no logic to this. It's really freaking her out because in her opinion, so like from my understanding of this world that we're in right now, like these officers are kind of like the only real like authority left.
Yes.
Because yeah, so like they're like she has been trusting that like they know what they're doing. They are going to be like the calm, collected ones of all of us. Like we're just working in a restaurant. We don't know what we're doing, but they, you know, they're professionals, and they, you know, like they are going to have a better handle at this. And so when he's saying he also has like seen this darkness, like she doesn't understand and doesn't really like believe in supernatural things. And so to her, like this just kind of sounds like people are, you know, like kind of losing their minds. And so when she hears the sergeant saying this kind of thing, she's like now very concerned because she is like, that you guys, this, come on, like that doesn't make any sense that like the darkness and that we can like leave, like what are you even talking about, sort of thing. And so she's trying to rationalize like, okay, there has to be a logical reason that this is happening, sort of thing. So she's like, maybe there's like some kind of like hallucinogen in the black snow that's like making y'all think that you're seeing these things.
We all saw Flo. We all saw that happen.
That's true. Yeah. Also, see, I'm not crazy.
We
but yeah,
we
but
all
like
watched those people walk out of the restaurant.
Real or not, it's still happening.
Yeah, I just think that maybe like we've all been drugged or something. Because like when someone's on meth, like they don't, like they see crazy things and they do crazy things, and so maybe we've all just been drugged.
Marcella's gonna like look at her liquor bottle and kind of like swish it around and go, nah. Possible.
Look at we are logical people, you know. We're not talking about like I saw like the crazy figure tried to grab my sword, and that was, I know that sound kind of crazy, but it's not crazy. There was something in the darkness, something, a lot of kind of things trying to grab the sword, and we made it out alive. Just, like barely. This is something beyond our logic right now. So I know you haven't seen it, but this is real, and we need to treat this like a very serious problem. Otherwise, this is gonna bite us in the ass really, really hard.
I don't have answers for you. I have no idea what is going on, what's causing it. It could be drugs. But all I know right now is that we need to stick together and we need to be able to work together. Are you going to be able to do that?
Yeah,
think we
I
should.
agree. Yeah, we should all stay together.
Okay. Then I have my gun together.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it on over my shoulder.
So where is it that you're planning on heading now? Are you going to where Toad had suggested she wanted to go to the other building across the parking lot kind of thing?
I think that's a group conversation.
Yeah.
I'm what's everybody's ideas? I don't. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we could stay here and just hunker down and defend this building for all I know, but I don't know what's going on out there. I haven't seen any sort of officer above our rank. Like, it's been chaos out there so far. So I don't know. I'm open to any suggestion.
I should look at the cards. Maybe they will tell me. And I will draw another card.
Draw another card. Okay. Give me a roll of your die on this one.
91.
You pick out a card, and again, it's the same thing. You're standing on top of the tower card, and this one's holding a judgment card in there. Trying to decide how that makes her feel, eh?
Yeah, I was like, is this information you're sharing with us, or are you just doing this?
She's
Hey,
thinking about it, like looking at the cards and looking at judgments, and then turns to the group and shows the cards and says, "The cards are doing something really weird. It's the tower card, but they're holding other cards in them, and I will show them to prove it. And this is the judgment card. So what this card tells me is that we shouldn't doubt right now about our decision. So whatever we do, we all need to be on board, and we need to be full in it. Otherwise, we're all gonna die."
Okay, maybe we keep the time. Maybe we keep the time path, kind of on the down low. But yeah, we need to stick together probably. And would you mind just stop moving, girl? I know you wanna drink, but come on.
Fuck.
Roll me your die, Marina, for a little med check.
18.
18. So yeah, so you even with her moving around, you're used to, patching people up on a battlefield where their bodies are slashing around and flailing because they've been shot or, stepped on a mine or something. So you're used to dabbing in that movement, and you're able to clean it as best as you can at this point.
Is it like an open wound that I was?
So no, like
it
with how quick that it was, it's weirdly already starting to scab over, but it have that like red tinge around the outside of it. So it is starting to scab weirdly quickly.
Okay. But it's clean now.
But it's
where
as clean as
supposed to
it's
be
as clean as you can get it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Without, tearing the scab off or trying to push some pus out or something like that. Maybe.
Well, my idea initially was to
I,
burn it. But so far so good, so I guess.
Probably not a good idea to put fire anywhere near Marcella's face right
Just no.
now.
breathing fire, that dragon breath.
which would just trip her out, because then there's fire, and
Yeah.
then
Then
Yeah,
it's a
that's
whole
not good.
cycle. Everything is all cycles.
Not good.
Okay, so so what's the plan? You have to be unified, she says.
I don't know what the plan is so far, but I am going to borrow Marina's strap from her gun. I'm going to take it would have 2 clips, and I'm just going to wrap that around both. We have the liquid nitrogen, right? So I'm going to wrap that underneath, and then make a harness, so that we can just carry that over a shoulder or something.
Perfect. Yeah, I fully accept that.
That it'll make it easier for her to carry.
Yeah, I accept that.
Phoebe is going to go over to Marcella and just sit down next to her, kind of just a little bit defeated, and grab her liquor bottle and just take a drink, and it's just gonna kind of be sitting with her, and she's like, whatever y'all say to do, we can do. She doesn't know how to navigate this, and especially since she's kind of noticing that people are believing in these crazy things. She's like, if this is something that's real, how do we even kind of battle against this? So how do we stay? How are we going to navigate leaving? I don't know. So what y'all say we do?
It's at this
I'm just going to stay with the group sort of thing.
That you hear a bunch of gunfire coming from outside. Not right outside. Definitely farther down the hall. You're just hearing it echoing down the hall.
As soon as I hear that, I stand up. Well, my M4 is right next to me, so I'm just taking my gun and I'm gonna take a look outside with my scope.
And you look outside the darkness, or outside the room, and down into the hallway, and you don't see anything down in this hallway. It's pretty far. It's probably about 35-40 feet down the hallway, and you see from where the next hallway is, kind of that next little T section, there's people running back and forth. You see somebody's walking forward. They've got their gun trained. They're shooting forward. Everybody's going towards where the front of the building would be. You see the grunts walking that way, shooting.
Sarge, there's contact out there. I see the military personnel just running to the front of a building. I think we probably should check that out.
What the heck are they shooting at?
I'm gonna pick up the bag and put it on me. I'm actually gonna put it on the front of me. I don't know why. Don't ask me.
So you can hug it.
Yeah, just comfort. Is this the time where we need to get out of here, or should we go help them?
I don't know. I cannot see everything, and I don't know exactly what they're shooting at. Can I take a better look at what they're shooting at?
If you want to go up the hallway and then look down the other hallway where they're shooting, then yeah, you have to move.
Oh, I'm so curious.
Sorry, but you say, should I do a little bit of a recon on?
Before we move anywhere, we need these 3 to know how to move. So
That's
I'm
true.
going to have you take point, Corporal. You're going to be our eyes in the front, and I will take up the rear. I need the three of you to stay between us and just follow exactly what we do and exactly what we say when we say it. Is that clear?
Yes,
She
sir.
looks at Marina and looks at Sergeant Downs, who both have guns, and she's like, do we need some kind of a weapon? I mean,
Do you know how to use a weapon?
You should, if you don't know how to handle a weapon, you shouldn't, because you're probably gonna shoot yourself in the foot, and that's gonna be like worth the,
Yeah,
you know,
you
let
don't
us
want to
handle
shoot
the
your
weapon.
friends or yourself.
but like I want to shoot something that might be trying to eat me.
You know, and I'm gonna pull out of my side. I'm gonna go off my bunk, and I'm gonna pull out of like underneath, and then I have a bat in there, and I'm gonna, here, you can have that.
Okay, I feel more confident.
I just, you know, keep it away from my face. Yeah, you know.
Okay, yeah, no, I can do that. I won't. Yeah.
Cool.
Does anybody else want a weapon?
Yes, please.
Look
Do
around,
we have
we can see
another
what we can
bat or something I can hit someone with?
I think there would probably be a lot more knives.
Yeah, I
Probably.
was about to say,
Yeah.
I'm looking for a little stabby something.
I'm
What
fine
I
with
don't
looking
have
that.
little
for.
stabby, but I have big
Oh,
stabbies.
big stabby's fine too. Whatever you want to put on me.
Phoebe like audibly is like, oh, also
Just,
yeah. And so
just
when they were grabbing stuff out of the restaurant, and her like, I don't know what to grab. We're just gonna grab random stuff. She grabbed some of the kitchen knives, so she definitely has some of the kitchen knives in her bag. So she's like, here, have the steak knife.
Flora will
That
also
nice
make a
serrated
mark
edge.
that they all work in a restaurant, so that they're probably okay with knives.
Yeah, you probably have some decent knife skill.
Yeah, actually, yes.
All right.
So,
Everybody's good then?
so you all head down this hallway. The shooting is still kind of going as you're heading off towards it.
But before we go,
Mm-hmm.
Don't
getting
forget,
better at it.
it's sombrero. Let's go. Let's make this official.
hell yeah.
Perfect.
Nothing's gonna
Shit's
officially
getting
start.
real.
Excellent. I love it. So you all start heading down this hallway. You're seeing, there's now somebody, one of the grunts, standing at the corner, leaning over, shooting. There's another couple people that are behind. You're seeing lots of bullets flying, and you creep up. Do you say anything to the person at the corner as you're coming up on their rear, on their six?
No. So the corporal would know that if there's gunfire, she would keep people back around the corner. She would put a hand back and make sure that they're staying behind cover and not exposing themselves.
Yeah.
And then she would probably peek around with her scope and try and see.
So she peeks around and she sees a bunch of the civilians from the town. They are trying to break in through the front door, which is now boarded up. A couple of them had gotten through initially. They are riddled with bullet holes. If you were to, there is just, like covered, and they're still on the ground, just, trying to move, but not really able to with how tore up their bodies are. Like, you could see, somebody had been hit with, a shotgun, and his arm is just, half ripped off, and it's just still, the fingers are just, trying to pull it along. The arm just slightly ripping more as it's going along. These bodies are just down, and at this point, there's not too many more of them on the outside. The grunts start to rush forward, focusing their fire a little bit more until they are all finally on the ground. As this all happens, there is one of these flashes of lightning. Toad, you're probably the only person that's seeing all this happening, because you haven't, had the time to say anything back yet. This is all happening pretty quickly. another flash of lightning that hits those bodies that are on the ground outside, the ones that are down, and they just burst into that ash. That ash turns into, like, busts into the air and then starts to fall down. As it does, more of that ash starts to fall down from a distance, kind of back where that farther building is. And you see a woman running just in front of where this snow is kind of rushing forward. This dark snow is rushing forward like a tidal wave. She jumps over the fire through the glass. She like busts through the glass into the building. She doesn't have the same darkness in her eyes as she does. And what does this woman look like?
Sorry, is she running away from the snow, or is she
No,
running
she's
through
running
the snow?
towards.
She's running through it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Towards it.
And what does this woman
Through-
look like?
Oh my
Hello?
god.
Hello?
You didn't.
What?
So, you see a woman who is running towards you, and she looks completely out of place. She should not be here. I don't think any of you who like live here would recognize her. She has on shades. She has a handbag on her shoulder. And she has this kind of oversized shirt that is not protecting her from the cold. Like, she should not be here. She looks pretty fit, pretty just like, average, basic, you could say. And as she's running around, getting through all this, she's just hurling expletives. She's like, fuck, ugh, I hate this. And she's just like scrambling through. She has this kind of like madness to her, but it's also very purposeful.
And the officers that were rushing forward, they had been looking at these fire bodies. They hadn't really seen, they thought everything was finished. They were looking at the darkness, and, as she crashes through, they turn their guns on her. But she hears her speaking, where the rest of these people weren't, they were kind of like in this dull thing. They hear her speaking, which is why they don't fire right away on her, but they do rush forward towards her, gun trained on her. Where did you come from?
Oh, me? Not from around here, that's for sure. It's gross here.
And they're just like he the one guy, he looks at you and he's just like, that's not acceptable, and he like points at you to like get up, and the other guy comes and he'll actually try to put handcuffs on you.
She'll start kind of like she's holding her hands up, but she's also kind of backing away, and she's kind of like, oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Trust me. She'll like kind of let them. She's fighting us like a little bit, but yeah, she's trying to keep a little bit of a distance.
So Toad, you've been watching this. What are you doing through, like, at this point? It's been a couple minutes. You've definitely had time to be able to like say things. What are you doing? Are you guys trying to get them to move forward? The firing of the guns has
I'm
stopped.
pulling. I think I'm communicating this as it happens. And say like, Sarge, this crazy bitch that just like stumbled through the door. What the fuck is? Hold on.
Can I hear her?
No, you probably can't hear. You probably can't hear.
No, because I'm talking
How
like
far-
to the other.
How far are we from from all of that happening?
You're probably so if
She
you're around the
obviously,
corner.
saw her come
She
through?
stopped. That's probably like another 30 to 40 feet away is where they are with her.
Okay. And the gunfire's all stopped.
Gunfire's now
Yeah.
stopped. Yeah, the two officers that are left there, not like checking out bodies, they are like, one of them got a gun trained on her, and the other one's trying to like. He doesn't want to, like, he's still kind of worried about everything that's happening, but she's talking, so he doesn't think that she's, one of these things that he was just firing upon. But he's still nervous about getting close to her to put those handcuffs on. So you see him like doing like one of those, like he's definitely one of these newer recruits that are here at this base.
At the end, is it all like recruits on the front?
It's all
Privates and
recruits,
stuff?
yeah. There's still no officers anywhere.
Sergeant, you're probably the higher ranking officer. We probably should go and check it out.
Yeah, Corporal, bring up the 6, and I would have everybody move.
I moved to the back.
Okay.
And we would just move down the hallway, and then I would confront the situation. I don't know if you want to add more before I do that, or...
No. You kind of come in, because it's all happening in real time. Like, she was telling you this as it was all happening. You're probably getting there as she's... or as he's trying to put the handcuffs on her for like the second or third time, and she's saying like, you don't want to do this kind of thing. So you're probably coming up at that point.
And so we're just coming up right then? Okay.
Yeah, we'll just slide you in there.
While we were walking down, I would have shouldered my sniper, because there's no reason to be using it, but I would have pulled a sidearm and just had it kind of at the ready. And then just walked up to the group, and I'm assuming they're mostly privates, so it would just be... privates, stand down. What's the situation here? Who is this?
Sergeant, she came crashing through after the fire just ended. What were those things? She's not from our district. She's not from our pod. She's not.
Doesn't seem hostile. So let's lower our weapons. Let's talk this out for a moment.
And he's got his train still. He like looks at her. He looks at you, and just like slowly, just kind of like takes it down. The other one puts the handcuffs back on his side, on his belt, and fine, Sergeant. You take this. We're gonna go see what's going on and put out that fire outside. And the snow is just like, the darkness is just beating against the windows. It's now actually coming in a little bit through where she crashed through the window. A couple of the grunts are already grabbing some wood and stuff from the side to go and try and board it up. And but the fire is not going outside yet. That's still burning as well. You're smelling those burning bodies again. I know you hate it, Toad, but it's all there.
I'm not going too far. Yeah.
So is it the black snow again?
It's the black snow again right now. Yeah.
Yeah, can we...
Yeah, because all the bodies burst into the black snow, and it like formulated and pushed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I
So-
make a sanity check for that whole...
Of course you can. Yep.
So just so I understand the situation, so there's the black snow outside. Is the fire also outside?
The fire is also outside. So the lightning struck outside where they had, stopped. Like at one point they stopped them from being able to get in, and they kept attacking from, their vantage points to the outside. Bodies down, bodies down, bodies down. And then the lightning struck outside, bursting them into that flames, like exploding most of their bodies. There's bits and pieces and stuff like that, but there is, just this fire raging on the bones that are left there. And
there are a bunch of privates who are about to go out into the snow to try and put the fire out.
so there's a couple that are like
I got
the woman that came in, Jane for now, because we don't know her name yet. Jane came crashing through the window, and kind of like that jump in a ball kind of thing. Like, so there's people going to try and board that up in a moment, as a bunch of this black snow is actually coming into the base through there. And then some people are going to try and get to that door area to go put out those fires.
So when she sees them going towards
put it
that,
down.
like to the black snow, she is gonna so if the sergeant is in front of them handling this stranger, she's gonna kind of turn to Marina and be like, should they be we should probably not want people to go out into that black snow, right? If that's what's causing the issues.
Yeah, but I think that the Sarge is probably gonna talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, that's. I was gonna say before the privates walk away, I would definitely tell them that they should not touch any of the bodies. Don't touch the snow, and if they're going to deal with the fire, they need to just try and get it from a distance. But yeah, definitely do not go out there. I need them to hold a perimeter and take care of holding that line.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
definitely the face covers.
Floor, what did you get on your sandy check, by the way?
51.
51. So that was below. So you're just rolling. You just took one off there.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, that just popped into my
You're
head.
fine. Yep, you're fine. Yeah, I would tell them not to touch any of the snow. Keep their distance. Like if they can't get the fire under control, then
Just let it.
leave it for now. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much we can do, but it's like quarantine procedure basically.
Sure.
And then
Finally, someone gets it.
They listen to it.
Finally,
I would
oh
turn
my
to-
gosh.
I would turn to Jane and be like, "And so, who are you?"
I'm the one who's gonna fucking save you.
Okay, I'm gonna need more than that. The situation here is
Gonna
completely
save
out
me?
of control. I'm definitely gonna need a little more information.
First of all, who gets it? Like, who understands? You seem to get it. They don't get it. Who gets it?
Talking about
What's
how
going
the
on?
snow seems to be affecting everyone. This isn't the first time that we've seen the snow affect people. If that's what you're talking
When
about.
did it start happening?
Roughly 5 hours ago, 6 hours.
Oh,
That's
fuck,
more a
babies.
question towards the DM. Don't know how long it's been.
Yeah, it's probably been.
It started today.
It started today. I would say it's probably been about 8 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be my answer.
Alright, well, you need to, like, get all the people who get it, and then I can sit down and, like, catch you all up on the gossip.
Alright, well, sitting isn't an option. We're all here now. So far as I know, this is everyone who understands. So, please, by all means.
Okay, first of all, I'm Rebecca. If you call me Becky, I'll fucking kill you. But it seems like you all have it together, as far as I can tell. None of you are, crazy black in the eyes. So here's what's gonna happen. We have to fucking leave. Like, now. Right now.
And go where?
Hell if I know. I mean, this is hell, but you just need to go. There's no saving anything. Any town, any pod, they're all gonna fucking go, so you just have to keep moving. It's all you got.
And where are you getting this information?
From my fucking life. I've been doing this shit for weeks now.
Where are you from?
She is from like a couple pods over, so yeah, she'll just say that, like, everywhere, nowhere. I mean, I don't even know anymore. But man, where do I even begin? No time. And she's just like, like, you could tell that she has no concern for the fact, even though she's telling you we need to go right now, she is not speaking like that's the case. She is all over the place, just everywhere. Like, she is trying to tell her whole life story and tell you nothing at the same time.
So let's do a quick flashback for
Okay.
Becky.
Mm-hmm.
Should
I change my name?
No, because I can call you Becky.
Oh, can you change it?
What's that?
No, I mean on the overlay, on the
On the
in
thing.
Discord.
It says Jane the Basic Bitch. I think that's perfect.
You're going back to where?
sorry.
Yeah, I got you. I can change it here.
Through the door, we like tumbling around, and I was like, "What
We're changing
Bye.
name.
the?" Finally, get to play together.
Right?
Rebecca. Okay, you're now
You
Rebecca.
said you're doing flashback, yeah?
Yeah, so I'm going to flashback for
Yeah.
her here, just so we can all learn just a touch of who Rebecca is. So, so let's jump back to the last day in your pod here. I'll let you pick up and tell me what it is what's happening with you. I'll set the scene for what's happened in the pod, because at this point, pretty much everybody's dead, I'm assuming. You know, there's a couple of those families left that have been out and about. Your mother's gone at this point, and you're just with your father, yeah?
Yeah, so my mother was never with us in the pod. Rebecca, she grew up in California, and she would have left and come to this pod. I don't know where in the States exactly the pods are.
We're in Washington
but
now.
Yeah, she would have. Right, so yeah, they would have moved to Washington, her and her father. And on the day of that everything kind of started happening, you know, it was just a regular day for her. She had recently, well, not really a regular day. She had recently been kicked out of her house by her father, and so she hadn't been there for about a week. And she went to the old person's home where she worked, and was working there, just doing her regular daily rounds, giving everyone food, things like that. When everything started going down, pretty much the same as it did in this pod. So she maybe would have heard commotion outside the window, looked outside, seen the lightning, all of that stuff. And she would have probably checked on everybody in the home, tried to get, the elderly people to calm down, things like that. But I'm assuming that didn't,
No,
didn't go well.
at that point, one or two of them even probably tried to attack you. Maybe even tried to bite you as you saw the darkness for the first time. That's would have been where this all started for you. And you somehow found a way to, escape this. You found a way to stay in hiding, to keep moving, to how many people do you think you've had to kill throughout all of this?
Oh, a lot. I think Rebecca has, through everything, something she's kind of learned is kind of to see the signs of when people are gonna turn. Like she's seen it so many times now that she has actually began preemptively killing people that she's met along the way, because as soon as they act a certain way, as soon as they seem off, as soon as they start kind of just not reacting the way humans do, she's like, well, they're gone. And so she probably kills them as soon as she can, really, because at that point, she doesn't feel that way, so she's the one who needs to survive.
Sure. So this last day in the pod, describe to me, like, open what it is. Like, are you still with your father on this last day here?
No, she would have been, I think when everything went down, she would have been in the elderly person's home. And when everyone kind of started acting strange and attacking her or whatever, she kind of just had to battle her way out of there. And she would have tried to go home. I don't think she found her father there.
Yeah.
Like, alive or dead. He was out, he was somewhere, he went to the store, he went somewhere. And she would have, going through her town and seeing people kind of freaking out and seeing how things were going, she kind of just had that thought of, I need to get out. Like, the whole thing just immediately clicked to her of, everyone is going to change, everyone is going to go through this. And the only way that I can figure it out, the only way that I can change is if I avoid this happening to me. So I just have to keep going. So she didn't even get a chance to look for her father properly, find him. They weren't on the best terms. He kicked her out. stuff like that. He was really religious, and she had recently came out to him as gay, so they were not on the same terms. And all that stuff kind of she wanted to find him, but she just needed to move.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as she could have, she would have just tried to, get her way out of town, basically, grab what she could have from different places, and just get out.
And as you finally find your way out of town, which you do, your father left behind. You walk out of, the gate of this pod, and it's dark out there. It's that snow, and you walk into one of these places of darkness. It sucks you fully in, and it's dark, but it starts to come up behind you as you step. It's like a roaring fire that just rages up behind you, and there's a voice in the fire, and it's chasing after you. You probably start to want, it probably makes you want to run as it's chasing on your tail, and the whole time it's just whispering to you that you caused this. This is your fault. You've done this. You're never going to escape it. It's going to follow you everywhere. The fire will rage behind you and burn everything in your wake. And you keep running, and you're running towards it, and you hit this wall, and you feel your back start to get hot as the fire rages on you, and you scream in pain as everything falls away and the darkness is gone. You don't have a burn on your back. It's just a searing pain. But the echoes of your mind is just, this is your fault. You caused this. It's just echoes through your mind endlessly at this point. And that's when you keep running. You run, you're running so fast to try and get away from this. You've been running for a couple weeks now. And that's when you come upon this pod of people here. And that's where we're going to take our break for the day here. This was the one thing I told you I had one thing planned. This is what I had planned. I hope. Oh, Josh, we got a Josh resubscription. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you. 4 months. Yeah, I hope that was a fun little surprise for y'all. Jane. Oh, it's so great to have you. Your costume is perfect.
That was such a great surprise.
Yeah.
I was so confused at what was happening.
Because you're just like, and she looks like,
right.
And then I just stopped talking.
And what does she look like?
Recognize your voice.
Like, wait, who?
As soon
I
as
was
you
scrambling because of the delay. I heard it on the stream. I was like, oh no! I was just waiting here at my computer, like, okay, he's gonna say something, and I need to know that it's about me, and I need to. But yeah, I've been so excited about this. I've known for like 2 weeks or more now that this was gonna happen, and I've just been like freaking out.
Yeah, this was gonna happen last week, and unfortunately we weren't able to play. So I've been sitting, like Jane's been sitting there just like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. Yeah. She bugs me about it all the time.
We're like slowly moving from area to area, and Jane's like, "Come on."
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, it was because when Freya first said, "Let's go to that other building," I was like, you guys did this at the perfect time. I can get her in right now because I had this idea, and then you went the other way, and I was like, okay, I'll bring some gunfire and we'll kill some people and we'll bring her in there. But yeah, you had almost set it up perfectly. It was but yeah, no, it's great. You all are doing great. I really, really love this. I'm so happy to keep sharing this game with y'all. You asked me how to find a way to make this run more than 6 weeks. I'm finding my ways. And Jane's gonna help along with that. So we're gonna take like a little 10-minute break here, everybody. I'm just gonna get rid of this here and leave you watching the snow, the dark snow, and get rid of the voices. We'll be back very soon. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the resubscription, Josh. I love you, buddy. You're a fantastic human. And to everybody here in chat, to Rollistis Pod. I know you're not here anymore, but thank you for the follow, just in case you go back and watch the VOD. And we will see you all very soon. I don't know if everybody's back to start right away, but I'll just bring us back on video and everything here. Good. I think we're just waiting on Freya still, which is okay. Your body just came. What up, Tech? How you doing, buddy? Your boy just came up screaming behind you. That's not fun. Magic cabbage. Electric lettuce. Gotta love the electric lettuce. Right? We got a Freya. What you eating?
My husband assaulted me
Your husband assaulted you.
with hugs.
Excellent.
That's an important end to that sentence.
Those are the best. Those are the best. Oh, Sonic. Thank you for continuing the sub, Sonic. Ooh, from the gift they got from Lil Joy Loaf. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Very, 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 very much.
How do you GM with the shades? I can't see anything.
Because I don't have to see anything. What do I have to see?
I guess that's true.
Everything.
It's to be consumed.
Everything's in my mind.
Wonderful faces.
Why? I can see your faces through the sunglasses. That's easy. But I'm
Damn
the
hippies.
But it's not the same.
I'm the DM of darkness.
Joshi says, damn hippies.
Damn hippies.
Lord.
Oh shit! What was
Anyways.
that? Oh, we got a follow. Charwells. Thank you so much for the follow, Charwells. Are you Emma's brother?
No.
No. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you very much.
Mystery brother.
Song looking like James Franco, right? Good looking dude over there. Okay, so let's
I had to get my hat back, man.
yeah, you had to. It's it fits the character. Okay, so let's pick back up. We just went through our little introduction of Rebecca, and we'll jump back to the conversation that you guys were having just in the there. The fire is still raging at this point. We'll say that they've gotten enough boards up that it's kind of like halfway boarded. They're finishing putting the rest of them up while you guys are talking. And we lost Sonic for a moment, so we will wait a second. You can see everyone looks like celebs. Oh, thank you, Tech. I appreciate you.
It's just because you can't see the rest of my face.
Thanks.
I could be
Thanks,
anybody.
Wi-Fi. Appreciate it.
Magic, you the real MVP?
All right.
Okay, yeah. So you guys will pick up back at that conversation. It's half boarded up. They're boarding up the rest. And Becky just finished telling you, the story of how she got there.
It's Rebecca.
Yeah, the DM
I'll
can
have
call
you
you.
know.
The DM will call you whatever he wants. Only to make you hate me more.
Yeah, so once she gets in, I guess I'm kind of in that bunker where everyone's packing up and stuff now, right?
Yeah, you're there with them.
Yeah. So she'll kind of look around and just be like, all right, so this is it. All of you get it. We're going. This is the dream team right here.
But where are we going if you say that it's everywhere? I don't understand what this even is.
Oh, you'll get it soon.
Look,
Well,
lady, I don't know about you, but I follow order, from the start here. And as long as he kind of like said that we be going with your plan, that it doesn't sound like a plan, I don't, I'd leave the tactic to the person that actually know a little bit about tactics.
Fair enough. Well, let me get this straight. Sarge here. Let me ask you a question. Have you been to a little place that I like to call the Darkness? Have you been there yet?
Yes.
You have? Perfect.
So is
perfect.
Flora.
Perfect. And what did it tell you?
Nothing in specific. Lots of whispers.
She'll look at Flora and you. Did it tell you anything? Give you any, cute stories?
It showed me the tower of my guards. And
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. She wasn't really expecting anyone to tell her anything. Like, she was kind of, like she was hoping someone would be on the same page as her, because she's been, running through this for weeks now, and everyone that she's come across has just been these zombies pretty much immediately before she can even have a conversation. So she's like, well, that's that's the plan. I mean, I wish I had something better to tell you, but I don't. That's the whole plan. You just keep going wherever you can that isn't fucking infested, and you keep looking into the darkness, and you keep looking for the answers. That's all.
So what did the
How
darkness
did
tell
you-
you?
That I fucked up. And that some real shit is gonna go down. Real soon. It's gonna get fucking crazy.
You mean like crazier? Like it's gonna go crazier than that.
Oh yeah. This is fucking nothing.
What's Marcella feeling through all this?
I was actually just thinking that Marcella is gonna take the pack and just like sit on the ground. She's feeling a little bit done with today.
Yeah.
She she lost her fucking job. She's kind of feeling like a shit human being. And the world's going to shit, so none of it really mattered anyway. And she's pretty sure she's just gonna die. So she's like, well, this is it, guys.
And what about Phoebe?
Yeah, she feels like she's finally getting some like real answers, even though she's actually not getting any answers, because like they're not really getting any more information. But the fact that they're not all like, there's not just some like crazy like these people aren't crazy. If it's happening to everyone, and if it's like a thing that's to her, I don't know, she's just trying to rationalize it in a way that's like not tarot cards and like supernatural stuff. And she's like, okay, so like this is,
you're looking for something tangible.
May I dare say a global wide pandemic or something. And she
Too soon. Too soon.
And so she's like listening like very intently on like every word that this like very kind of concerning girl, like she doesn't feel very comfortable with her, but also is like
Concerning girl.
every word that she says. She's like, tell me more, because she just doesn't understand and she wants to understand.
And happening around you now, the windows boarded up, the snow is not blowing in anymore. A couple of grunts probably turn to you, Sergeant, and what do we do next? There's no officers. Who do we go to? What's the plan? You seem to be calm, at least. And everybody else around you is kind of frantically panicking.
Who have you heard from? Has there been any comms at all?
No one.
Well, if this is what we have, then we hold here for now.
And
Just
as you say
hold
that,
position.
hold here for now, the snow starts to pelt harder. You're hearing it just like rapid fire, almost like hail pellets, like hitting against the window now, like it's trying to break in, but it's not.
Maybe like away from the windows.
What is the layout of the building? Oh, like, so is the barracks connected to the original admin building that we were
So
in?
yeah, so the main
building?
building has the barracks off to one side. You kind of went down that hallway. You turned down another hallway. There's the barracks that you were in, and there's another hallway that leads down to several other, where the different troops would stay. Your one room isn't big enough for all the people in the base. There's that big staircase in the middle that leads up to where all of the offices for the officers are. That's where you went up to the general's office. And then the other hallway leads down to where that med bay is. That's in the first building. Once you go past that archway to that second building that I'd mentioned before, that's kind of more of the training facilities. There is like an artificial like battlefield that's been built there where people can do crawling through things like shooting training, gun training, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so the other one's more of like a training facility.
And then there's also a garage building.
Yeah, there's a garage that's across. You would have to go outside. And then the main building would also have like the mess hall as well.
I think.
Rebecca, you said your name was?
Yeah.
How did you get here? Did you take a vehicle here, or you just been on foot this whole time?
I just fucking beat my way through it. It's been a time.
And she smells like she hasn't showered in weeks.
Terrible.
She's been running through
like
this. Yeah, she just, she smells like she's been like falling through mud, running through forests, just like, yeah, horrible.
And she'll look at you kind of, because, she can tell that everyone's shocked at her presence. She can see the reactions, as oblivious as she looks and like is laughing and is in her own head. She knows what's going on, so she'll kind of say to you, listen, I can tell you more and we can totally become besties or whatever, but I can't do it here. This is all gonna go to shit. It's just gonna keep going and you just have to keep moving. There is an answer, and people are gonna fucking die. But if some people who get it keep moving and keep trying to figure it out, keep going into the darkness, looking for the answers, and avoiding this shit, maybe we can fix it.
So you've been walking in the snow then?
Yeah.
She's gonna turn to the rest of the group and she's like, how do I want to do this? I think she's gonna grab Marcella and she is gonna like pull her to the side. She's like, listen, the last person that we saw that interacted with the snow was Flo.
Oh yeah, and her neck went all Laffy Taffy.
And this girl doesn't look like she's the most stable either.
I mean, I don't see any like black. I'm not seeing the same sorts of signs. I mean, she seems a little bit less stable, just like Flora. Just, I think going into the darkness has something to do with it. And I'm gonna look up towards like where all the snow is beating down. Just gonna shudder, and that is giving me the exact same vibe as the fucking lightning. And I'm gonna turn to Rebecca and be like, I agree. I think we need to get the fuck out of here.
Finally. Is everyone else gonna fucking get on board, or are you just gonna sit here and die? Because, I mean, how much of that conversation did I have?
We're not going through the fucking front door. I would point at the snow.
I would say you probably didn't hear the Phoebe half of it, because I feel like Phoebe was probably trying to be quiet. How drunk do we think Marcella is right now?
I wasn't being quiet.
Yeah, you weren't. I didn't think you were.
I wasn't trying to be quiet.
So you heard one half of the conversation. Okay. You didn't hear Lily say that she's, she looks like she, whatever. But you heard the other half.
Marcella say, well, she doesn't look that stable.
Yeah, you heard that. Okay. You heard that half of it.
Yeah. And she's probably gonna be like, listen, I get it. There's crazy, and then there's me. But I can assure you, I'm not one of those gross fucking zombie things. I mean, I've seen fucking hundreds of them. I can see them. I could see it begin before it even begins. Alright? So I know that I look fucking manic and fucked up or whatever, but I'm all you've got at this point, so get with it. Alright? And yeah, and she just kind of like says that, and I have a question. Maybe I have to roll for this.
Mhm.
Because I heard the sergeant say, we're not going to go through the front door or whatever.
Yep.
In the time that I've gone into the darkness, it's been a few times.
Mhm.
Do I end up in the same place, like when I was walking? Do I end up in the same place when I come out of it, or do I move?
No,
Like,
like
through
you've been
real
moving
space?
forward. Like if you've been running forward in that thing, like when the fire was chasing you, you didn't come out of
Yeah.
it just outside the building. It had been chasing you for what seems like about 10 minutes. When you look back behind you and you're finally out
No,
of
but
it,
I mean when
Are
I've
you
gone
moving
into
in-
like the visions and stuff.
yeah. No,
When
that's
I've
what I
gone into
mean.
the
Like
visions and stuff.
you're actually moving. Like the vision's almost happening in real time. That fire when chasing you, that darkness was real
Right.
time. So you're actually moving in real life farther away as you are moving in the dream state as well, in that darkness state. That makes sense.
Right.
It's one and the
Okay.
same.
Yeah. And does it feel to her, even if that's not how it's been, but I imagine that she's tried to do it on purpose because she's realized maybe that it's faster, or that at least when she's in the darkness, there's less of those people around, or it's different.
Sure.
So has she tried to like trigger it in any way, or tried to like?
Okay.
I
Give
mean, I would
me
think that she has.
give me a high or a low. High or low.
Low.
So you have been able to trigger this once by yourself.
Mm.
You're gonna have to add a quirk for doing that.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll let you. You don't have to figure that out. You can think about what that quirk will be. But the fact that you put yourself in a state of really huge mental instability to be able to go into this darkness on your own. So you're gonna have to add a quirk for that. Okay.
Okay.
And you were able to pull it off once. You probably tried it a couple times. You were only able to pull it off once. And I think when you did, the couple times that it's happened on its own, you stayed in the darkness for maybe like 5-10 minutes as you were running. The time that you did it on your own, I think you were in the darkness for a whole day. Okay.
Okay.
And that fire was just like beating behind you. And so that voice is just like, maybe it's almost like maybe you almost always hear it whispering because it was just a whole constant 24 hours of this. It's your fault. You've done this. It's just beating into your head the whole time you were in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, she'll look at them, at the sergeant who's kind of asking, how are you proposing we get out of here? And she's kind of like, well, there's two ways. We can just try and see what happens and say fuck it. That might be fun. Or we can... You've been into the darkness, right? How did you get there? Did you do it on purpose, or did it just happen?
It just happened. I just opened a door and I was in it.
Door.
Just physically
assume-
pulled into it.
I assumed that she would not have been around many doors, so that's not how it would have happened for her.
No, for you,
Yeah,
it
she
was just
was
kind
just-
of like it was kind of like what happened to Flora, where she took a step forward and just was in it.
Right, so then she would look at Flora and kind of ask the same question. And you? How did you get into it?
It just happens, but maybe it has something to do with the cards. Maybe if I draw a card and focus on it, I can trigger the darkness in a doorway. I mean, we can try, but what do you want to do in the darkness?
Wow.
Look at
That's
you-
how
you
I
might
got
be-
here.
you're probably very experience in all the darkness and everything, but that time that we were kind of close in the darkness, we kind of almost died. So I'm not like kind of really keen into this idea of going like, yeah, maybe we kind of find another solution that is not so, like risky, crazy,
Flora
Are you
will draw a card.
suggesting?
You'll draw a card. You draw a card and you look at it, and it's got an upside down emperor being held by yourself in the tower. I actually did do a little things for this. I learned some things about tarot cards because I figured if you're going to be pulling them, I have to know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's an upside down emperor card that you're holding in your hand. And it's actually, it looks like one of the corners of it is just slightly on fire.
She thinks, well, she thought she can trust Rebecca, but drawing this card, she is now kind of scared of her, or at least doesn't want to, because the Emperor card to her means like someone that takes control, like the upside down one, someone that takes control or has excessive control. And Rebecca is the only one in this situation that really took control and is talking and like not in a good way. So she's kind of like very, because the last card told them they had to make this decision together, and now the group is kind of split. So Flora will try to steer the group towards a decision instead of just now focusing on a doorway in the darkness.
Sure. Manager is coming back out.
Yep.
Yeah. Phoebe's really not on board with this. Like she kind of feels like Rebecca was also influenced by the black snow, and it just looks different because she like already is just kind of off-putting with like the way that she's talking and the things that she's talking about of like, just go into the darkness. Like, let's just go further into the darkness. Like, she already doesn't know if she even believes what that means. And like, she hasn't gotten to experience anything like that. So she just kind of thinks everybody's a little bit crazy. And so like, when she's just saying like, we should just leave and go out into the snow that has only caused them like bad stuff when they've gone out into it. And that's just like, like she feels like it's like this like tempting sort of like she's trying to tempt them.
So are you just kind of sitting there like watching, or do you think like you're pacing about, like thinking about this? Like, what do you think's going on with you physically right now?
I think that she's like really actively like listening and participating in what is going on. And like anytime anybody is like, she doesn't feel very confident especially because she doesn't know who this Rebecca girl is. Like, she doesn't want to just be like, you're evil, get away from us.
Yeah.
But like anytime there's any kind of hesitation, like she's definitely like jumping on that. So like when Marina is like, I don't know if like, she's like, yeah, like, see, this isn't I don't think this is a good idea, and so like she's trying to,
sure, she's trying to find the flaws,
almost like kind of like trying to like get the group to also think about that without her having to try and say it.
Okay.
Because she's scared to say it, sort of thing. Yeah.
And it's at this point that the hail and everything outside is going to start to slow down again. It comes in these random intermissions where it comes hard, it comes soft, and then it's just gone. And then there's no white snow outside, anything like that anymore. It stops kind of intermittently. The pounding of that hail against the window just slows down, and it just goes calm outside. And as it does, the flames on the bones start to fall down and dissipate into just a green smoke that comes off of them. And everything goes calm around you again.
Has Rebecca seen this like cycle before?
Oh yeah. This cycle happens quite often.
Yeah, so I think once she sees that it's calmed down, she knows that's like her opportunity to get moving again. I mean, she was never planning to like stay in the pod. She's just kind of like, I gotta get in here. I didn't know there were still people alive, and get what I can and then keep going, because she kind of wants to try and get like ahead of it, if that makes sense. So when she sees it calm down, she'll kind of be like, listen, So, see what just happened? It was chaos, and there was all that gross snow, and now it's just kind of gross, but like chill gross. That happens, and this is when you move. This is when you do what you need to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep going. So, you all have a decision. You can stay here and live in this cycle until you die, which, in my estimation, is 3 days. Or you can come with me, or you can just leave without me, whatever. But I'm gonna keep going. So, and she kind of starts looking around the bunker because there's like things that she might need that she sees. And as she does it, she starts like rumbling in her bag. Like she's just kind of like, and it just sounds like a bunch of pill bottles. Like that's all it sounds like. It's just like medical and random junk. And she kind of is, she's looking for something to barter. So she's kind of like, I'm gonna go. You can come with me or not. But while I'm here, and she kind of like, what kind of like weapons or like stuff is around?
There's some, some kind of large daggers. You'll probably see some handguns and stuff that are lying around. Actually, they're probably not lying around. They're probably in cases and things like that and put away. You're probably actually not seeing too much in the weapon wise. You would assume, being a military base, that there's probably stuff around, but nothing that you just see out in the open.
Right.
Probably be an armory.
Right, but is it at least like a, I don't know, any like, I guess it's in the med bay, but is there any just like a first aid kit or, I don't know, just anything useful?
Give me a roll. Let's see if there's anything laying that had been thrown about in all of this madness that happened around.
Hold on, I'm trying to remember which way. 88.
88. So you unfortunately don't see too much in and around here. You see things like you could probably ask questions to the sergeant or to Toad, but you don't just see much thrown about in terms of medical equipment or weapons. Nothing's just out in the open, not where you are at least.
Right, she'll kind of be like, damn, well, I thought that there would be more useful shit here. I guess not. I mean, I was willing to pay for it. She doesn't have money. She's like holding up a random pill bottle. She's like, I was willing to pay for it, but I guess there's nothing I need here. So, I'm gonna be going. Free to come with, party. But you have to make a decision. And, she kind of gets up to go. Pretty much like she's, closing up her bag, slinging it all over her shoulder, and, she's just gonna walk out.
Let's go back to Marcella for a sec here. So Marcella, you've been sitting down there.
Camera off as if she like started walking out, so it'll be like,
Sure.
if anyone actually follows her, then they follow her.
Okay. So Marcella, you're getting a little bit more tipsy. You were sitting on the ground there, things like that. What like your mind state is clearly you're done with this day. Would you get up and follow?
I'm gonna kind of look to the group and just kind of like gesture and be like, there's nothing left for me here, you guys. And I agree. I think if we don't keep moving, things are gonna get stale here, and stale in a bad way. I think I need to keep moving forward. You guys should seriously think about coming. And she's just gonna turn and walk after.
Sarge, if we're gonna go, I don't know if we should go in the fifth place, but if we're gonna go, maybe we should like give a visit to the armory. Maybe there's something in there that we can take.
Yeah, I agree.
If we're going, we should go now, and we should do it all together, or not go at all.
I mean, if Marcella is already leaving,
They
then
haven't
like
left us much choice.
Yeah, like we need to follow them. Like we can't just let them go off by themselves.
But actually, we could. But
No, we can't. And I will grab Phoebe and go towards the door and leave them there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna. Oh, what the hell?
No, they left because they went to go leave the room. They walked out.
Ah,
It's just you and Sarge left there, deciding if you're going or not.
okay, Serge. Are we gonna go? We need to protect this city. They're gonna be, meet here for the Nomen.
I think we're gonna need a vehicle, and I think we're gonna need more ammo or weapons.
Yeah, that's why
I
think we should.
think you should go
to
with
the
them
armory.
right now. And I think you should get them to go to the garage. And I'm gonna go to the armory and grab everything that I can. And
Copy
then I'll
that.
meet you there. And
Affirmative.
grab a vehicle and we can get the fuck out of here.
Alright. Copy that.
Okay, so you two run after, catch up to everybody, and
She's going.
yeah,
I'm not.
and then you would split off. From you have to go in that
Okay.
direction.
I
So
figured the armory would be in that building still.
it
so I was
is,
gonna
but
go
where
in there.
it's on the other side. So you would all catch up, and then you would split off as she goes to lead them that way. You're going this way, kind of thing.
Okay.
Question for you, Lily, as you all meet back up, and then Chaplin goes off on his own, just based off of what you sent me earlier. Does that affect you at all? How does that quirk come into play for you?
Yeah, so she very actively does not want to do what Rebecca is saying. She thinks that this is like whatever is going on, like the darkness and anything like with the black snow, like anything going towards that is a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as Marcella is like, no, I'm going, she's like, well, now we don't have a choice. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go with her, but like,
You're not
we
leaving.
have to stay together, sort of thing. And so, yeah, like as soon as Flora's like, no, like we need to go, she's like, okay, like these are my people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like she very much sees Flora and Marcella as her people because like they're her coworkers and kind of like her family in a way. I don't know how she feels about Marina and Sergeant Downs yet.
Yep.
And so I don't know kind of
If that would feel like if one of them running away. Okay, that makes sense.
I think when she finds out that Sergeant Downs is going separate from them, that might be something. But at the moment, I don't know. Like, yeah, because they're still together.
Oh no, that's what I meant. I meant when Sergeant Down leaves the party, when you so he gets there, she started to take you off towards the garage, and he's going off to the armory by himself. That's where I asked. I guess sorry, I didn't phrase the question properly.
Gotcha. No, I just wasn't understanding what completely was happening. Yeah, so I think she might just then like kind of speak up of like, well, why don't we just all go to these places together? Like, it obviously nothing good has come from any time anybody splits up at all. So like we can just go to the armory together. We can all carry things. Like the more people that are there, the more we can carry. And she's sort of like rambling a little bit. And she's like, we can just like travel as a group to wherever we need to go in the station before we leave. And she's gonna kind of say that to the group before, like as he's talking about splitting off.
That's up to you. You all have already walked away from the group. You all decided where you're going. So if you decide you're coming with me, then you're coming with me. I'm going regardless. I think we'd be better off with a vehicle, which is why I suggested we meet up at the garage. But if you want to stay together, then we stay together. I'm not your commanding officer.
What do you think, Marcella? Should we go with them to the armory or get a vehicle?
You know what? I'm gonna make this simple for all of you. Like go together because otherwise we're not gonna do anything fucking shit today, and I've had it with all of you. Like go.
I like this one. She's funny.
So
I think she answered it for me.
yeah, perfect. The fire comes out,
Sorry, Sarge, but sorry.
and you all
To me.
start to follow Sarge down to the armory. Are you looking for anything specific while you're there?
Ammo.
Definitely
Yes.
lots of ammo.
Lots of ammo.
Yeah.
Rebecca, are you proficient with any firearms? Have you ever used a gun before?
You don't want to give me a gun. And she literally just like holds up her handbag and she's like, this is what I've been working with.
Would you like to elaborate, or are you just hitting snowmen with your bag?
So let me take over for a sec. I'll take over for a sec here just to. So her handbag, she's been using it to kind of do that same kind of clap on heads. She's smacking things with that force in this, just explosion of the black smoke, the ash out of their heads.
So she's a grandma with a brick in her bag.
Yeah.
Exactly. And she'll look at them kind of and like she'll show the bag and then she'll put her shades down and she'll be like, one other thing. If you got some goggles or shit, it really helps. Protect your eyes or you fucking die.
We can
So
get a
can-
lot of that from a standard issue. That shouldn't be a problem in the armory.
No. So you're able to find, like this armory is fully stocked. If you want to take a bazooka with you, take a bazooka with you. If you want a flamethrower, take a flamethrower. Take whatever you want. Okay.
Flamethrower, yes.
Do you actually want a flamethrower for yourself? I figured you probably wouldn't want to use one.
I mean,
Do you want to be around fire?
as a player, yes. As Toad, never.
No. So you can, what are you grabbing? Honestly, I'll let you.
So,
You know me. I'll let you take whatever you want
question.
here.
Question
shit.
for the sergeant and for
Toad.
should I
Corporal.
refer? I've been referring to y'all as officers because I feel like in character that's
Corporal.
kind of what she would call her.
Yeah.
Do you think that they would refer to you as like certain titles, or do you think that it
You would
normally
probably
just,
just
like,
be calling us soldiers.
Yeah,
Probably
you-
wouldn't
Yeah.
know
hmm
too much about
Okay.
rank or anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're.
Okay, that's what I
technically-
thought.
I feel.
technically we are like somewhat officer compared to like a private or something, but we're like,
I think
not
officers
very
is
high up.
perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's what I
the
was
first
thinking.
thing that came into your mind. So
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
if
exactly
it's what
it.
you've been saying, then by all means, yeah.
Okay. So if so they're going into the armory and they're gonna start like getting supplies, which makes sense for y'all two because you work here. But like, she is then actively going to start also taking things and putting them in her bags. Is that going to be a problem because she's a civilian? Like, what will y'all kind of scold her or whatever? Because she's gonna like start going in
I'm
and being like,
assuming you're
okay.
not grabbing guns.
she
because
like. I
you
mean, if
said
we're
you're
going into
having-
an armory, then she's grabbing
If-
supplies.
If you're carrying gear, then yeah, you can carry whatever. It's not like we're like loading weapons and handing you a loaded gun. It's like
you know,
I'm
at this
assuming
point,
what we would be looking for.
I
Go
think
ahead.
we are like we understand that the chain of command is kind of fucked up, and
Yeah.
this is the end of the world. So fuck everything. So I think at least from my end, personally, the Sarge is another thing because he's higher. So I wouldn't give a shit if you take stuff, unless you're taking the stuff that I need. Then I'll
Gotcha.
take it out of your hands.
Because I was gonna say, if not, then I'm gonna need to try and sneak some things. Because she's definitely gonna try and take some, like, she's going to try and get a gun and things like that. Because she's, if
Okay.
we're going outside of this building where things have been covered in bullets and are still walking, yeah, she wants some real weapons.
All right. So Marcella, are you taking anything? Are you loading up your backpack with weapons?
She's a little bit nervous about explosives, so I don't think she will take something like that. So I think I'll. Hey, Sarge, if you wanna take some, some explosive, you go ahead. You know what I mean. And I'm not gonna just comment like very subtly about that. And I will try to take maybe something that could stun. Is there like?
There's like flash grenades and things like that. Yep.
Yeah, I think I would take some of that, and a lot of bullets.
What about Flora and Marcella?
Flora's gonna see if she can sneak out a little handgun, like if they have like a smaller handgun,
Sure.
like somewhere in her back pocket. And probably some gear, the goggles for sure, and maybe some other handy stuff that's laying around.
Like who's taking like bulletproof armor and stuff like that?
She will probably take a vest, put it on. Yeah.
I think I will organize vest for all.
Okay, I was like, because I don't see you with
and Becky, now you get now Rebecca, they lead you to the area where this has, they don't have the medical supplies you were looking for in here, but they have all of the guns and weapons you were looking for. What do you think she's taking?
Yeah, I think more than anything, she's taking like outer gear. So if there's like boots or anything like that, like a coat, like things like that she hasn't had. She's made do without it. She's here, but she's grabbing stuff like a sturdy pair of boots. And when it comes to weapons, her like philosophy is just once you can like shooting and stuff, it can get fumbly or whatever. Once you can identify that it's like a snowman or whatever, and you could just bonk it, that's the best thing. So she's looking for things like batons. Yeah, so whatever she's been calling them. She's looking for like a baton or like something that is like that she can physically like swing, because she knows everyone else has guns. She's just she's kind of like looking for something she can swing. Things like that.
So you're
the
like
stun guns.
maybe you're just taking like heavy things and just putting it into the bag.
Yeah, pretty much. She's just like, her bag's been working for her, so she's like, why am I going to mess around with a gun when I don't know how to shoot it and I can kill someone else or myself?
Question. Is it Louis?
Louis, the bag?
Yeah,
my bag?
Yeah, Louis Vuitton.
Well, yeah, of course. And these are Gucci.
Okay, so you get all of your gear together, and you don't have to tell me everything. Again, if you're taking your flamethrowers and stuff like that, go right ahead. I'm all good. You can use whatever you want, and I can throw bigger things at you.
I wish I was a flame toad, and I would take.
I could see Marcella taking the Molotov cocktails just to drink them.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, this
swig,
take a lot
light
of that shit, but I'm not.
And you all go to leave the armory, I'm assuming. When you're all going to leave, Lily, you seemed, or not Lily, but Phoebe, you seemed like you were searching for quite a lot of things to find. I'm going to say you're probably the last person leaving the room.
Oh, good.
And as you leave, you step out of that door. And we're going to go to another darkness here. So you step out of the door, and as you walk into it, it's almost like it's a rippling darkness that you walk into, and you walk into being submerged underwater. Your hair is floating above you. You feel that weightlessness. There's no ground below you. It's like you look down and you see just the depth of this water and bubbles starting to rise in and around you. You definitely start to feel the water start to seep into your into your nose and into your mouth as you're probably very shocked as to all this happening, and you start to feel that drowning feeling. Do you like, what do you think you would do as this happens? Do you think you're trying to call out in it? Are you trying to swim? Like, what do you think happens to her in this?
Yeah, I think that there's there's that like tightness feeling in her chest as she's starting to panic. and then she's immediately like looking for escape. So yeah, like she looks down and she just sees darkness, and then she like looks up and she wants to see if she can see like light. She's gonna like try and turn around and see if like the door is behind her that she can leave. Like she's like very frantically like trying to get her bearings and see if she can like see anything to escape.
And so yes, you start to, you're trying to swim up, and you see that it almost seems like there's that ripple at the top of, if you're underwater, you see that rippling water at the top, and you seem like you're getting closer to it. And as you get closer, it seems like it's getting farther away, like you're trying to get there, and it's just not happening. And more of those bubbles, it's starting to become like a jacuzzi around you as the water starts to like feel like it's boiling, but it's not getting hot with the amount of bubbles and the movement of it. And you see coming up beneath you a bunch of dark shapes in the water. They're just floating up past you. Faces with long open mouths, red burning eyes, fire burning in this water, and they're floating up past you. You're probably trying to swim faster and faster to get away from you. They're not touching you. You're not hearing any screams, but you do see the bubbles coming out of their mouth like they are trying to scream under this water, these loud just vicious bubbles coming out towards them. And you see that as you're trying to get up towards the ripple at the top of this water, you've been under here for a while. You feel like you should have been drowning and dead at this point, but you're not. You're definitely fighting for air. Your lungs feel like they're filling up with water, and these black shapes are leaving the water and floating up higher. You can see that there's a brightness above outside of this water that just starts to go dark as they get up closer to it and farther. It's been a couple minutes as you're just sitting there trying to swim up farther, your eyes up, and there's more of these shapes just going up. And as they fill up into the sky above the water, the darkness happens and it starts to rain down that ash. As the ash hits the water goes black. And you do go into that coma for a moment, that water-soaked, drowning coma. For everybody else around in the game that had just walked out, that was in front of her, you hear a thud as she falls to the ground. You see a splash almost come out of her as you turn and you see her hair soaked. She's laying on the ground, spilling out water, like she has just been drowning, like she's spilling out black water from her mouth. What do y'all try to do? Her
Phoebe,
clothes
holy shit, are you
are
okay?
soaked.
And I'm like, I'm rushing towards her immediately and like trying to like sit her up and like hit her back to get like whatever water I can out.
So you're kind of semi-conscious here, Phoebe. You get up, she sits you up, she like and as she sits up, you're like a sieve, and just almost like a gallon of this black water shoots out of your mouth all around you in a pool. It's laying on the ground, and as it's done getting out of you, you would cough back to consciousness.
So so I am in this water and I can't see anything and there's blackness around me. How do I go from like consciously feeling like I'm in the water to now being on the ground? And
so you you fall into an unconscious state. So you kind of fall asleep in the water. You probably feel like you start to fall and float down as your eyes close, and you can't fight anymore as all of this water gets into you, and you fall asleep. And as you're falling in there, that's when you fall in person. And so as you hit the ground,
I think she would have probably curled up into the fetal position. Like when that started to fall onto her and surround her, like she probably would have like curled up. And so when Marcella is like trying to grab her and help her, like she's like in the fetal position and isn't registering that it's actually Marcella and not one of these like shadowy figures.
Sure, of course.
Like really disoriented and doesn't realize.
You probably don't realize that it's anything at like any remotely normal thing back in like reality until all of that liquid is out of you, and then your brain kicks back into consciousness.
So yeah, she'd be like, man, yeah. And she would start like coughing it up, and then just would start like looking again in that same mentality that she was when she was in the water, like frantically looking for like that escape. And so when she kind of comes back to consciousness, like that's what she's like trying to do again.
And for you, it was about like 15, 20 minutes. For them, it literally happened instantly.
Instantly. What? Where did I go?
Phoebe, what happened? What happened?
I don't know. I was just in water, and there was just water everywhere, and I was drowning, and I couldn't breathe, but I was drowning for so long. And what happened? Where did I go?
First of all, are you okay? Like, breathing, everything's fine?
You're gonna have to roll me a sanity check.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting some towels.
Yep. Okay.
And something to kind of.
And Marcella, as you go and you help her,
temperature.
you've got your body against her, like helping you. You're now like you're soaked as well from all the water dripping off of her.
Mm-hmm.
What do you get for your roll?
Okay, so I rolled a 6, but like I kind of want to just roll again because I just.
Hey, listen. If you here's what if you feel like you lose sanity, you can just say my character would lose sanity in this point. If you feel like your character would do that, that to me is great role playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She definitely like yeah.
Okay, so
there's
roll
no way,
me a
especially-
d6. Let's see.
Okay.
I mean, like you always lose sanity even if the fail, but if you feel like it's more, or if you succeed, you 4. So yeah, so you don't gain a quirk because it was 5 or 6 for the quirks, but you lose 4 sanity.
Okay. Yeah, this has definitely like, I mean, I don't know if she's hasn't connected anything yet, but like this is something that like she cannot explain, but instead of other people just telling her that it's real, like she finally experienced something crazy. And so I think that she's definitely like very scared and one of those things where you feel very like vulnerable and exposed because she wasn't in like there was no way that she could defend herself in that. Like she couldn't avoid falling into that. It just like she just walked into it and it happened. And so she's feeling like very scared and very exposed and just like in danger sort of thing. Like, you know, like I could just close my eyes and it could happen.
Mm-hmm. And for Rebecca, you know, she's probably just like, oh, you probably knew what happened here. You saw her fall in this water and, you know, knowing what's been going on and how much you've dealt with it.
I think at first she didn't actually notice what was happening because I think once they had that objective of we're going here and it kind of would have been pointed out of, you know, we're going to this building. She's just kind of going and she's kind of zoned out in her task. So it would actually take hearing everybody else freaking out that she kind of like looks around, kind of like, you know, what? And then sees what's happening. And did anything, like I know she's been into the darkness, but did it happen like this to her where she woke up and there was that black stuff around her, or did she just wake up?
So you would wake up and you would feel that heat on your back, like that fire was chasing you. You would still feel that heat, like it had been burning on your back, but there wasn't any scars or anything like that.
Right, but there wasn't any liquid like this.
No, you weren't running in the water. You know what I mean? Yours was just a darkness, but the fire that was there present feels like that was still chasing you when you left it, right?
So I feel this is actually Rebecca's turn to be suspicious. Like everyone's been suspicious of her, and now that she sees the water and that black liquid, she has only seen this with those kind of demented people that aren't humans anymore. So in this moment, she like everyone's rushing towards Phoebe, and she's kind of like, "Don't touch it! Don't touch that! Get away! She is gone." Like, and she might not even realize that she's conscious and like woken up or you know whatever. She's not even really looking at the situation. She's like, "She is gone! Don't touch it! Gross! We need to go."
So back to Marcella and Phoebe there for a moment. So you've got her, you know, rested up. She's got the water out of her. Are you trying to help her up? Are you just comforting her?
I'm sitting there until, because I would assume that I would see Marina go off, and
Sure.
I think that I would just connect that like she's going to go get something
To dry her off.
So I would just so I'd just be sitting there with her, trying not to make a bigger mess.
And Flora, what do you think Flora is doing there?
She will try to comfort her, like try to either. It really depends on how she is. Like if she is okay with being touched, she will kind of hug her, try to keep her a bit warm. Yeah, trying to say everything will be fine. And
yeah, so same thing for you.
Real world.
So you get kind of that wet on yourself as well. Everybody's kind of, you guys are, and that's, you know, I kind of feel like, and I'm gonna break character for a second here. The way that you guys are doing this is great, because the 3 restaurant people, they're all coming to help. You know, like you guys are really doing great with your roleplay here. Fantastic jobs. Sorry, it's true. It just popped in my mind, the way that you guys are all coming together as the players. It really works well. So
you guys make it easy.
So you guys are there. Marina, Toad comes back with some towels, and helps dry her off. What
so
about
my clothes? They're all drenched.
Yeah,
right?
like you're drenched.
Yeah. Change somewhere
do
bright.
Do I recognize some like similar structure to the dark water, to the things that we have seen outside? Because we have seen kind of
for sure. I mean, at this point, if you wouldn't assume that this is all connected together somehow, there's no role for that.
I'm gonna go up to Phoebe and say like, well, now I get that you have seen it, right? What do you see?
I'm sorry. I just don't understand. I didn't get it. Like, I don't understand how that could have happened. I don't understand what this is, and I just thought that we were like they maybe y'all were a little bit crazy or hallucinating, but like that was not a hallucination. And I don't know what that was, but and she's gonna specifically turn to Flora and she's like, I'm sorry, you're right. And it's just gonna kind of like say that over and over, like you were right.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
So, but what do you see? So it was just water, water behind you, water around you, and you.
I was just drowning. There was water like in my lungs, but I was just consistently drowning, but not dying. And then there were just these shapes all around me and like faces. And then I saw the like black snow that we've been seeing, but it was just darkness.
I'm gonna turn around to Sergeant Downs and be like, does that sound familiar to you at all?
Water? No. Just falling in? Being sucked in? Yes.
But the shape, probably something similar. And then I'm just gonna rub your, like, Phoebe's back really like... And
yeah, she's probably like shaking and like we're like no one, including her, is sure if it's because she's cold or because she's terrified. Like she's just like shivering.
And what's go ahead.
You know, at this stage we probably, I don't know, but this seemed to be like some, you know, like sign that we maybe need to get the fuck out of here, you know, like touch up, you know.
And Rebecca's just there like, yes.
She's on that page. She's like, yeah, listen, we can totally do story time later. I'm glad that you're not, you know, and she gestures to her eyes of like black eyes, because that's what she thought momentarily. And like she's seen it so much that as soon as she hears Phoebe like talking and stuff, she's like, oh, she's good. So she's like, you know,
I don't have to hit her in the head with my bag.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, okay, we can have story time later. You know, I'm glad she's good to go, but you know, all that fire and that's gonna happen like soon. It's like clockwork. It just goes round and round and round of fires, snowstorms, and it's gonna come back. So we need to go. But this is she's kind of like, we need to go, but this is important. Is kind of what she's like. She wants to acknowledge that she understands that Phoebe just saw something, and that's the whole point that she's been saying of like the darkness is important. But she's kind of freaked out by the fact that she is being held back by these people at the same time. She wants them with her, but they're moving more slowly than she would, So she's kind of like, I get it, the darkness, it's like creepy and whatever, and it's important, but we gotta go.
What
And
about?
she'll just keep moving. She's not really trying to help. Like, she sees everyone clearing her up, and she's like, she'll be fine. Just keep going.
We gotta go.
Okay. Chaplain, what do you? So you kind of almost become the leader of this ragtag group. What do you think you do in this situation here? I'm assuming because from what I gather, you're kind of the kind of person that sits and takes it all in and then decides.
I mean, I would have watched all this happen, answered the question, and really agree with Rebecca. We should keep moving.
Yeah.
We should get to the garage.
So you get up. What are you doing? So your clothes, you're dry, your hair is probably dryish, as with the towels and stuff like that. Are you gonna try and change out of your clothes to get into something dry, or are you just going in your soaked clothing?
I don't think that she's even thinking about it. I think
Yeah.
that like people are saying we need to go,
And you're just
and
getting
so
up and going.
If Marcella and Flora are there with her, like she wants to like
Mm-hmm.
penguin huddle. Like we're all just gonna like stay together and move as one person. Like, and she's not even thinking about the fact like, oh, maybe I should train or whatever. She's just like, okay, let's go.
Sure.
It's just kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too bothered.
And yeah, so you all start to get up and start going. You get to that front door. You look outside. There's still no black snow, no hail coming out. It's still that calm going on outside there. There are still a couple of the soldiers that are standing around, on guard at the door, things like that. Do you say anything to them as you're walking past?
I think as we're kind of leaving, Rebecca will probably ask Sergeant Downs, yeah, she's not going to ask him anything.
We'll give him a quick sec.
Not.
There we go.
Yeah, so Rebecca's going to ask the sergeant, like, listen, so I'm pretty sure this group here, we're on the same page. Is there anybody else in this godforsaken pod that you think gets it? Because as far as I know, it's a small percentage. And even you, the amount of y'all, that's pretty big. I haven't seen anybody else who, it's like the minute there's snow, 99% just a liability. But if you think there's anybody else, then we should get them. I mean,
these are the
if
only
we bring
people
them,
I've met that seem to understand. The only other person would be the doc, and well, I have no idea what happened to him.
if we bring them and they start to go, loopy in the head, alright, I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna take them out the minute I think that they're fucked up. It's just what we have to do. But if you think there's a chance, then you want to save them.
I don't think there's anybody really here.
Alright, well, let's go.
All right.
Corporal, take point.
and you head out. You go across the parking lot. You get, you go past the car that Jesse had crashed when he got back injured, and you make your way into the parking lot. Quite a few of the Humvees are gone. This is where they were driving off from before, when they went back out into the snow to try and find the explosions from the cars and things like that before. But there are some tanks there. There are a couple more Humvees. What are you trying to take? There's also a helicopter.
I don't think we want
I
to
don't
do
think
a
we have
helicopter.
enough. Do we have enough fuel? Just to
Seeing as what has happened to the last few vehicles.
Hey, I'm
I
just
would like
I'm
to
just
be able
telling
to
you
get
what's
out of the
there.
vehicle.
All I can
Yeah.
do is facilitate a world to
But that's
y'all.
just my thought process. Is I would not like to be way up in the air when the lightning strikes. So yeah, probably Humvees.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like what Freya said earlier of like her as a player. She's like, yes, flamethrower, let's do it. I'm like that with the helicopter, but my character realistically, she like
Yeah.
from the darkness thing, she knows that if you go into the darkness, you kind of go unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to do that in the air. That's kind of pointless. So she.
Again, I'm just giving you all choices.
Yeah.
Choices.
Yeah,
It's
you're
all
giving us like party kill choices.
Okay, so you get into some Humvees. Are you taking one, or are you all gonna pile into, or are you getting into two?
I don't think we'd all fit in one.
Probably. I mean, you could if somebody sits on somebody's lap or lies down in like the back or something like that. I'm sure you could probably try if you really wanted to. Oh well, there's typically like 4 comfortable, right? Like 3, or I guess 5.
Wearing a lot of
5.
gear, so all the trunk space would
Yeah.
be.
Okay, so who's driving? Who's driving here? If you're taking 2.
So all of that
Probably.
logic being said, like that makes complete sense. But when Phoebe sees that they are taking 2 cars,
Mm-hmm.
it like that PTSD of the last time that they were in 2 separate cars. She's
Yeah,
like,
when Gladys Foster attacked. Yes.
yeah, and she's like,
Low.
should we be taking separate cars? What if something happens again? The last time that something like that we were in 2 separate cars, like I just kind of feel like I know it'll be a tight squeeze, but like if we're all together, then like there's less of a chance that something bad could happen. I feel like I don't know.
I think
You don't
in a
wanna squeeze
Humvee
in the back.
I think we probably fit. There's like some people they're just carrying a
Typically, like,
Louis Vuitton
5
bag and don't have anything else.
I mean, most of our gear should just fit in the back, and like
Yeah.
weapons and stuff would have space in like the middle console.
Yeah, I can
So
plan
so
for right
DM
next
DM's ruling is
not
that
never
you can
leaving
all
me
fit
agree.
into one if you would like. I mean, you're not. I will say that you're not comfortable sitting in all of them in one, but you can all fit into one. That's my DM's ruling.
We're
Yeah.
taking a Humvee with the 50 cal.
Yes.
So
Yes.
My reasoning is there would probably be more space. So in a
It's not
in a
reasoning. We
transport
take it.
Humvee,
Well,
it
here,
would be a little bit like tight in the back, but if we have the 50 cal like gunner seat directly in the middle of the thing, somebody could sit like underneath. They don't have to stand in it, but you could definitely fit somebody there, and then have 3 people in the back seat, 2 in the front.
I think if
That needs
Rebecca
a sex
sees
tape.
that, she'll kind of point to probably Toad and kind of like point to that seat because she assumes like that she can shoot, and she's like, yeah, we need someone in there to be like the lookout basically of whoever's going to be shooting and keeping things away from
Mhm.
the vehicle. But she doesn't really say anything. She just kind of like gestures to it, and she just kind of gets into a seat and makes herself small. She's not questioning any of this. She's just moving very much.
Yeah, 50 cal Humvee. Let's go.
Okay, so where are you all planning to drive to? So
So-
let me expand the city for you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mostly residential. You know, you all live in this kind of enclosed area. There is a couple, you know, like general stores kind of things. There's definitely like a hardware store for people that need to do repair and maintenance and stuff like that. There's the restaurant. And then other than that, it's mostly just residential. There's probably like a library that is dedicated, or not a library, like a museum dedicated to, you know, not that they've seen that long ago, just the past, but you know, the past life before the pandemic hit and everything with this, and then having to go live in pod. So there's something that would be dedicated to that. The guy's name is Buchanan, Freya, who built the library or the museum.
It's Buchanan, man.
Sorry, I had to. I needed to see. I needed a Freya smile. We needed a Freya smile.
Wasteland lore.
So that's kind of like, but mostly residential. You know what I mean? A lot of people are here just as, I hate to say it, but cattle. You know what I mean? You're here to populate again and to try to rebuild the world within these pods, kind of thing. So most people are just here as cattle.
Rebecca's assumption is just out of like, you know, each of these pods is just gonna keep falling. It's gonna keep happening like this. Most of the people in that are gonna, you know, turn into these zombie things, these snowmen, and there's only gonna be like one or two people that have had similar experiences in each one. So her kind of thing is we're just moving on so that we can get as far ahead as we can, so that we have time to figure out what we're actually doing. Of like, you know, so she, in her mind, they're not even gonna stay in the pod, and she probably says that of like, you know, all right, let's get out of this gross pod.
Wait a second. What about Keith? He was fine when we left him. Maybe he's also not affected by this snow. We should maybe check on him.
Marcella is going to chime in immediately and be like, yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking of. I want to go check on Keith.
And Phoebe lives with her dad, right?
Yeah.
She still lives, and so like I think she would also. Till this point, she hasn't thought about it, but at the idea of leaving the pod, she's like, "My dad. We need to check to see if he's okay." Especially since they don't have phones and can't communicate.
If we're gonna pick up more people, we need to go into car. We need to go into vehicle. We cannot like put more people inside the base. It's not gonna happen.
Also, you need to be prepared for the eventuality that if they are affected, we might have to put them down.
But Keith
That's
wasn't
also
like the
true.
other town people. He wasn't affected when we left him.
The last time you saw him.
Yeah, but the other town people already were affected.
No, I mean, what happened with Flo?
Good
All you can do
point.
is hope.
Can I?
I
can
think we
hope.
should still.
I'm just making sure.
Can you roll for
I'm just making sure that you are ready.
roll for
roll for
what,
what?
Rebecca?
I don't.
Yeah, I want to roll at the mention of Phoebe mentioning her father and like, oh, we have to check on him. I can't like leave him behind.
Is this a
That's what
sanity
happened
roll for
to
you?
Rebecca.
Yeah.
So I want to know how that affects her. So do I roll with
Yeah. So
my
okay.
thing?
So here's what you do. So I don't know if I fully. Do you understand the DCs on the thing that I sent you? So
yeah,
you.
so I have to roll.
So
above
you
or
have to
below?
you have to you have to get below 49 for it not to be a bigger sanity loss.
That was a 78.
A
So
78. So what you would do now is you would roll me a d6, and that's how much we're going to minus away from your sanity.
Yeah.
1. Yeah, so 1 sanity off of you. And just so you know how it works, just to finish there, if you roll a 5 or a 6 on a sanity loss, that's when you gain a quirk.
Okay.
Okay. How does that affect her physically when she starts talking about her father? Does that affect her physically?
Rebecca, I think she just kind of gets like antsy because she's kind of. It's like she's watching a repeat of her own life with a different character. So it's kind of like she's seeing that Phoebe, it might change as she has changed. Like she's gonna be like, she realizes that she might have the same loss, the same trauma, almost.
Okay.
So I think she kind of like. I think she kind of deals with it in a little bit of a shut off way. Of she's been listening, but you kind of just see her stare off a little bit, and maybe even like humming or just like not even really listening to the conversation anymore.
She's going into that white noise in her head.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are you? So you've got two different places that you kind of want to go here. Do you want to go to get Phoebe's father first, or are you going to Keith first?
I think Phoebe would say, let's go get Keith first.
Okay, if she says that, then we're going to Keith first.
Okay. So you, Flora, you would know where Keith lives, and Toad said if you're going to pick up more people, we need different vehicles. Is anybody responding to that?
I think that I'll drive the second vehicle.
Yeah, so we are taking two vehicles now.
I think that Toad should stay with them in the first vehicle. We should still keep her in the 50 just in case. I would think that probably Flora is the only other person who would generally drive. Maybe Rebecca.
So who's going with you then, Chaplain?
I think I will go with him.
Okay.
You need to drive.
Because I know the directions, and I think Phoebe also knows where Keith lives, or Marcella knows where Keith lives, and he doesn't know.
The other two people don't drive, right?
No, but if they're staying in the other car, they can tell Marina where to go. And
Marina's not driving.
But Marina's not driving.
Marina's a shooter.
She's in the gun. And that's why I'm saying you should lead.
Yeah, then I will
with the first vehicle, and then I will follow you.
I was gonna say, if you try and go into another car, Phoebe will be going in that car with you.
Okay, so yeah,
she will drive the other car.
Okay, so Flora, Phoebe, Marcella, are you going with the girls?
Okay, so it depends. Who all is going?
So those two, Rebecca, whose car are you going into?
She's staying put. She's kind of like.
Okay, so you're staying. So you're staying in the car with Flora and Marcella, then
Marina.
and Marina. So, Chaplain is going by himself at this moment to the other car.
I'll ride with Chaplain.
You'll go with Chaplain.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the car ride, like nothing's going to happen to you on the car ride there. Does anybody want to have any conversations, any private conversations in and amongst themselves while they're in these cars, or do you just want me to take you to Keith's place?
All I know is that if I know Marcella's coming, I would be like, I hope you brought your bottle. That's it.
What would she say at that point? Would she just pull it out and like cheers and swig?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
And I would definitely take a swig.
That's a quirk. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a quirk. Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a fucking day.
Let's roll
it's been
to
a
see.
Fucking day, mate.
Let's roll to see how drunk you are at this point, because you've had quite a bit today, I would think.
Yeah.
You haven't had Ferret streaming on Saturday night as much, but you had some.
Oh god, that was mayhem.
49.
49. So you've got a nice glow on. Like you're not
like my cheeks are a little bit like
you got that rosy. You've got that you're a little bit that happy right now, you know.
Good,
well, it depends. I guess I'm not going to tell you what kind of drunk you are. Maybe you're happy. Maybe you're a little that angry. Who knows? Whatever drunk kind of you are, you're just starting to get there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get you to Keith's house here. The two cars pull up into the driveway and you walk out, and this is going to be the last scene, the last little thing that you see before we end for today. Is Marcella walks in first. I feel like you and Keith are probably the closest friends as opposed to just co-workers based off of how you two were playing off each other earlier. You walk in and you're the first person that sees this as he's just sitting on his couch, and the butcher's knife that he had lost before, he has in his hand, and he looks at you, Marcella, as he's repeatedly stabbing into his chest with the eyes as black as snow, saying, "Look, Marcella, I found my knife." And that's what we're going to call it today.
Push. Like,
Glad we went to go find Keith.
Is she gonna say I told you so?
We had to try.
Well, I hope.
I was thinking about that last episode. I was like, crap, she's gonna need to like, Phoebe is going to want to know her dad is okay. Oh gosh, I have a feeling it's not gonna be okay.
Yeah. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
I
That
hope
was a
y'all.
lot.
I hope y'all had a good time.
That
I
was
know.
crazy.
I know that I did. Jane, fucking great entrance.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to the group.
Yeah.
I am
It's-
so happy to be here. I keep joking with Joy that like I always miss her streams and I don't get to hang out with her. So this was just my ploy to insert myself into this group of people. This is the way that I can do it.
Well inserted.
Definitely.
Please, it's peaches.
Yeah, that was.
I am so happy I got to do this.
Oh, thanks, Ukes. Thanks, Asa, for being here. Appreciate you, Asswind. You are the smell of my heart. Sonic will be on at 3:30 his time for that stream. Awesome. What's everybody doing for the rest of the day now? What's everybody got going on?
I mean, I need to take a nap.
Yeah.
Recover from all that happened.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have nightmares about Keith.
Yeah.
No! Why
I
you gotta
found
do
my
that to
knife.
me?
Look,
look, I
look!
found my
I found my
I
knife.
found
it's-
my knife.
think it's
my
drinking time.
Awesome. Let's go find somebody to go raiding here. So who's playing tabletop role playing games today? Tabletop. Stupid sunglasses take these things off kind of now.
I know. I'm so glad that I like planned that they were gonna be like movable, so that I could actually like. see things.
So tell me about your makeup choice. Is that in character as well? Does she look like
Oh,
that?
it's gotta be.
Yeah, everything that she's in right now is her character.
I was
Yeah.
wondering if you were just kind of like wanting an aesthetic or like so like because I in character was going to say something about it, but I didn't know if like I didn't know what that was. I should have asked you during the break about that. But
Yeah,
dang,
no, so she hasn't really like role played it yet, but if you were to kind of like look closely at it, it looks like reapplied. So it's like messy, but it looks like somehow through all of this, she has managed to just keep making a wing. But there's no taking away. There's only adding. So it's like
It's like this thick on her. It's like this thick.
Yeah, it's. I have so much on my eyes. Like it doesn't show as much on camera. Like next week, I'm just gonna add more.
Mhm.
But
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
It's
I
like
think
she
it's
just-
perfect. It's
Yeah.
it was such a
It
great
does.
detail.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
She just
Honestly,
didn't
you were
manage
lucky
to-
you didn't get shot the first time you lifted your sunglasses, because every time we've
black.
seen the snowmen,
Yep.
it's been the
Mhm.
snow coming out of their eyes,
hmm
and that
I
was my
thought
first
about it.
instinct.
I was
and
waiting for it. I was
because
waiting for
you
it.
were still
I
talking.
thought about it.
hmm
I was
Well,
like, this
you
is
didn't.
like
You kept your shades for the longest time, right after the other kind of like the other guys kind of calm down,
hmm
and then yeah.
She
I was
doesn't
getting
even
such
realize that it looks like
Bird
that.
Box vibes. You know, have y'all seen the movie Bird Box?
Haven't watched it.
Heard about it.
I know what it
Yeah,
is, but I
I
haven't
did.
watched it.
Well, I don't want to spoil it, but
No problem. Oh,
It's pretty
did
cool.
there
we?
was some real vibes, and I was like, she is going to cut our
Oh.
faces off.
Oh shoot! The raid just went off without me actually hitting anything. I was sitting there waiting.
Oh.
We are off stream.
Oh.
Sorry, everybody.